There is stunning footage that has been leaked from the archives of NBC News of Donald Trump hanging out with accused serial rapist Jeffrey Epstein in 1992, talking to Epstein about a gaggle of young women who were dancing in front of them at a private party. So we need to end this world in which the Trumpist right is allowed to weave what is a complete fantasy world, that it's simply unbelievable that Donald Trump could have at any point been involved in any kind of sexual assault with Jeffrey Epstein or at Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan condo, because they barely knew each other. They weren't friends. Trump never liked him. It needs to stop, okay? And corporate media, by the way, needs to stop giving any benefit of the doubt to that narrative that Donald Trump has been trying to weave. Donald Trump, to catch you up, was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl that also claims Jeffrey Epstein raped her. And that the suit was ultimately pulled because of alleged death threats against the 13-year-old, the then 13-year-old. Donald Trump's outgoing labor secretary, Alexander Acosta, gave Jeffrey Epstein a ridiculously good plea deal years ago, and he now has been forced to resign as a result of it. Donald Trump has claimed time and again he never liked Jeffrey Epstein, never was really a fan, never really hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, barely knew the guy. And this every single day is a narrative that is being absolutely destroyed by facts and evidence. There's now newly discovered footage from the NBC archives, which shows that Donald Trump was not only talking to Jeffrey Epstein after warmly welcoming him to his party in 1992, he was clearly talking on video about the young women that were dancing in front of them. Who's hot? Whispering sweet nothings into Jeffrey Epstein's ear about who knows what it is that maybe Jeffrey Epstein might be interested in doing later on at that party. So this is video from well before the sickening plea deal that Epstein ultimately struck in Florida. Let's take a look at the video.
Yet, a tape in the NBC archives of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
Donald! Donald! Donald!
The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet three new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his.
So this is actually even worse than previously imagined. I hope you noticed, by the way, if you were watching the video, if not, find the video because the audio doesn't do it justice. Trump at one point grabbing a woman's rear end in the video. That's a really nice touch. So Trump has said, I barely knew the guy. Seems to know him pretty well based on this video. All of the prior reporting on this has been accurate. Trump was friends with Epstein. Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old in Epstein's Manhattan apartment. But the picture is now sort of expanding to show this as a two-way relationship, which is what, quite frankly, most of us believed it to be. Most of us in the side of logic and reason believed it to be from the beginning of the evidence that we started gathering on this issue. Not only was Epstein possibly facilitating trysts for Donald Trump at Epstein's homes, going back to the 90s, Trump was potentially facilitating trysts for Epstein at Trump's own properties. Especially, remember, we heard early this week or late last week about the party planner who was told to gather 28 young women for a party which would be attended only by those 28 young women, as well as Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So consider how much we have to suspend disbelief in order to believe the right-wing talking points on this. Trump, no, he didn't like Epstein. Well, we've got footage where they certainly seem to like each other. Trump, no, he didn't go to parties with young girls along with Epstein, except now there's video of Epstein going to Trump's parties with young women. Why is it so difficult to imagine that sometimes the parties would be at Epstein's place as well? Their relationship, oh, it was distant. They were definitely not bonding over women they found attractive. Oh, wait, now there's video of Trump and Epstein gawking at women dancing while Donald Trump discusses with Epstein which ones are attractive and how attractive are they. Trump is on video saying, you just do what you want when you're famous, grab him by the pussy. And then in the video that is uncovered by NBC, he is literally grabbing a woman's rear end without it being clear if that's actually what she wants to have happen. But we're supposed to believe that it's all unsubstantiated attack rumors meant to make Donald Trump look bad. Remember, there were no such allegations against Barack Obama, a Democratic president. There were no such allegations against George W. Bush, a Republican president. This is not just par for the course, where every president is not only accused of a dozen sexual assaults, but there's video evidence of them in cahoots with individuals with whom they allegedly conspired on some of these sexual assaults. It's all on video. The grab them by the pussy tape. Now this video, court documents from multiple women, including Trump's own ex-wife, saying he raped me, he assaulted me. But we have to pretend like idiots. Oh, we don't know. There's no real evidence. Will there ever be responsibility for having elected a serial sex assaulter to the presidency? Not if Trumpists have any say. And increasingly, impeachment would take a while. Removal by the 25th Amendment would take a while. Actual consequences for all of these alleged sexual assaults by Donald Trump may never happen. But we can remove the guy in November of 2020, and I hope that we do that. Let me know what you think about this latest video. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. If you're not following me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. Had an interesting little exchange this morning, actually, with Dave Rubin that you can see there. Also, while you're on Twitter, you might as well follow @DavidPakman Show as well. One of today's sponsors is Impeach the Card Slap Game. You can't slap Donald Trump in real life, but you can slap him in this hilarious, fast-paced two-player card game. And you can get it for 10% off when you go to davidpakman.com/impeach. Impeach the Card Game is awesome for parties or when you're having a few drinks. I've been playing it with some friends of mine. It combines clever satire about the Trump administration with really funny, high-quality cartoon artwork, all in a very lively card game that's easy to learn, but it stays interesting every time you play it because of how well designed it is and how much thought went into the humor and the political commentary. Impeach the Card Slap Game is perfect if you're looking for something fun and casual to do with your politically minded friends or family members. It'll make a perfect gift for anyone you know who has a sense of humor about Donald Trump. And when you go to davidpakman.com/impeach, not only will you get 10% off the game, you can also get 10% off all of the other hilarious clothing and accessories in their online store. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tote bags featuring funny political cartoons about Trump that you can't find anywhere else. Get a super fun, witty gift for yourself or someone you know, whether it's Impeach the Card Slap Game or anything else in the gift shop, and get 10% off all of it when you go to davidpakman.com/impeach.